Welcome, one and all, to another episode of Pacific 414 Movie Review. I'm your host, Mike, and just like with Pacific 414 episode review, I review movies in this case, unlike episodes of TV shows. In case any of you have never watched the three movie review videos I have up here on the YouTube channel. But in today's review, it's not really going to be a review. It's going to be more my instant reaction, like you see with the graphic right next to me. And it's going to be my instant reaction and thoughts on 2021's release of the Justice League, also known as the Snyder Cut. Now, I do want to say, you know, right away before I go into what I thought of this version, that I did go and see the original cut that was done with part of Zack Snyder's shot footage, and then when Josh Whedon came in and took over for the rest of it back in November of 2017. And I've got to say, with that version, I didn't like it one bit. And one of the things I didn't like about it was the fact that you could tell by watching the movie that it was two completely different directors, two completely different creative mindsets as far as how the movie was going. And also, one of my sticking points, because, this movie had a large budget, was the fact that the CGI effects in that movie weren't very good. They were pitiful. I mean, I remember telling some friends that I went to the movie with, and they asked me my opinion, what I thought of the movie, and you know, I tell everybody, okay, you ask me my opinion, I'm gonna give you my opinion. I'm usually not gonna sugarcoat how I feel about it. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. And one of the things that bothered me was the CGI, and I told them the CGI, especially for Cyborg, really bothered me because wasn't it wasn't well done. I'm not saying I can go in and render CGI like that at the snap of my fingers. I can't. I know I can't. But you had this movie that had a multi-million-dollar budget, and the CGI, it looked like something out of the late 90s, early 2000s, in my opinion. And that was one of the sticking points. And then, of course, like I said, you could tell that in that version of the movie, it was two completely different films. You had what was already shot for the Snyder cut, and well, yeah, it was going to be included in this version too. And then you had what Josh Whedon shot, and they weren't cohesive. They weren't connecting. It was just terrible. And it wasn't a movie I felt I needed to go back and see once again. And, in 2017, the movies I was really looking forward to were, of course, Justice League and The Last Jedi. Now, The Last Jedi, I've only watched it twice. I haven't watched it yet again. But I'm not talking about The Last Jedi in this review. Let's forget I even brought it up. I shouldn't even brought it up. But, I've only watched that movie twice, and I'll never watch it again. Only watched the first cut of Justice League once, and had no desire to ever watch it again. I didn't even watch it before I watched the Snyder Cut early this morning. And the way I watched the Snyder Cut early this morning, just so you all know, is I watched 1 hour, then I watched another hour, and then I watched an hour and a half, and then watched the last 30 minutes. I felt I needed to break it up. I just knew I wouldn't be able to sit through the whole 4 hours. So I would, like I said, watch the first hour and then so on and so forth. So what did I think of this particular version of Justice League? Was it good? Yeah, it was good because guess what? With those extra hours that we had in this movie compared to the 2 hour version, the extra 2 hours, we got a more detailed story. We learned more about Victor, what he was going through becoming cyborg, and we just got more backstory with this version, and I'm trying my best not to give any spoilers away for this movie. That's why I cut myself off talking about Victor, aka Cyborg, and I just really enjoyed this movie a whole heck of a lot better than I enjoyed the hybrid Snyder and Whedon cut. It was just a whole lot better. The story was more cohesive. Like I said, it just goes to show that if you listen to your paying customer and give them what they want, then it can be done. And let's not lose that fact that each and every one of us, whether it's a movie or a TV series, we're all paying for it. Most of us are paying for it. You know, I wouldn't sign up for a subscription for HBO Max unless I was gonna pay that $14 a month, which I am. And you know, you pay your streaming bill, you pay your cable bill, you pay your satellite bill. You're paying so you can be informed and be entertained, and you should get what you're paying for. And I really didn't feel that when I walked out of the theater back in 2017 after seeing the original theatrical release of Justice League that I got what I was paying for. I felt like I was ripped off. And I'm probably not the only one, and there were probably other people who enjoyed it, and that's fine. That's fine. If you enjoyed the first release, well, then it met all the criteria that you had. But for me, the first cut of Justice League, it was the whole fact that you could tell that it was two different directors. Two different directors, so you were getting two different visions, two different, completely different stories. I am glad that they cut out a lot of the unnecessary crap from the first theatrical release, and what they put in was great. The movie itself is great. I don't know that I'm going to go back and watch it right away. I'm probably not going to go back and watch it right away, especially with the fact that it's a 4 hour movie. But I will go back and watch it again, and maybe I'll, just grin and bear it and watch the first theatrical release of Justice League just to kind of compare and contrast. But I'm not going to do a breakdown review of the first theatrical release or even this cut. This is pretty much what you're getting from me. You're going to be getting this non-spoiler instant reaction to the movie, because I'm currently working on a few other videos, and I want to devote time to those videos right now to get them out, and I still don't know exactly when I'll have those videos finished, but I want to devote time to those videos. I don't want to give myself another video to work on and push another video to the back burner, or completely forget about a video altogether. But I really enjoyed this version of the Snyder Cut. This is the version we should have gotten to begin with. Yeah, if it was 4 hours, fine. Let's have 1, 2, possibly 3 intermissions. They used to do intermissions way back when you had a 2 hour, 3 hour movie. Because if any of you who can remember going to long 3 hour movie where they would have an intermission, you can remember the parts of the movie where it would get to the intermission, and you would know that because on the screen it would say intermission. You would get those same movies on VHS or Betamax, depending on what you had. But most of us eventually had VHS because that's one out. And you wouldn't have just one VHS tape, you would have two VHS tapes because of how long the movie was, and one VHS tape on SP couldn't hold it. On extended play, yeah, it could hold it. But on SP, speed plate, no, it couldn't hold it. And, you know, again, this should have been the release that we got before, and it wasn't. But we got it now, and I really enjoyed it, and I do recommend it. And if you don't feel like you could sit through the full 4 hours from minute one all the way to the 4 hour mark, I don't blame you, because I knew I couldn't do it. That's why I broke it up. I do highly recommend that if you can't sit through it all the way through it through one sitting, that you break it up. And you know, I did hear that Zack Snyder was on Geeks and well Ute's channel last night. Part of Geeks and Gamers, and it was all done for charity, for suicide prevention. And I did hear what happened. I you know I don't think he should have done what he did, and I know some of you are probably turning this video off right now because you don't want to hear this part. But let me understand that this is part of my review. I had already heard about what happened, and I was gonna watch this movie anyway and make up my own mind as to what I thought of the movie. But I don't think he should have done what he did. I realized the corporate suits probably told him, You've got to do this," because they want to distance themselves from anyone who's part of, the fandom menace or whatever you want to call them. You know, Unfortunately, Hollywood's not going to realize that we, as the paying customer, have every right to voice our opinions and to say, "Oh yeah, I highly recommend this movie." Well, what did you think of movie B? No, it's not worth it. I didn't like it. And see, that's where people can go watch the movie and make up their own mind. But I really found it disrespectful that he went on to their fundraising stream and instantly wanted to separate himself from them. Now, I don't know all the behind the scenes details. It's none of my business as to what went on behind the scenes. The folks at Geeks and Gamers, they know, and if they want to let us know, that's up to them. But it's none of my business. But I really did feel that it was low. The fact that he went on the stream and it was for a noble cause, a great cause for suicide awareness, and then instantly wanted to distance himself from them. And yes, the suits probably told him to. But still, it just makes him look bad. It just makes him look bad. It would be like if any one of us who are out there watching videos were to go on someone else's channel and not even, being respectful of everyone there, just started ranting and raving for no reason. I just find that very disrespectful as to what he did. I understand that it's the suits at Warner Brothers who probably told him to do it. I know I've said that several times already, but I just find it very disrespectful, very disingenuous to go on there under, this impression, this pretense that he was going on there because of this charity that he supports, and then to instantly go, "Oh, I want nothing to do with you guys." Oh, no, 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 no. I find that very, very disingenuous on his part. And if it got to the point where the suits had told him something, then he should have let the men and women at Geeks and Gamers know, hey, listen, we've got a problem. I won't be able to come on your stream tonight. You know, please understand such and such reason, and then you know leave it be. Be professional about it. But that's not here or there. Would I still recommend watching the movie? Yes, I still watched the movie. I still enjoyed it, even knowing what went on, as far as what we've been told. But I I don't agree with the way Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder went about it. And that's just my opinion. I want to clarify that right now. That's just my thought, my opinion. I would still recommend this movie, for anyone who's curious about it. But as far as what happened during last night's charity stream, last night's fundraising stream, no, it, it it's not right. Come on, folks. So, you know, if I were to have a rating system on this game, the game, oh boy, I've been doing too many game streams recently. But anyways, if I were to have a rating system for this movie, getting back to the movie anyway, I would definitely give it a 4.5 out of 5 because it was very enjoyable. I enjoyed it. I very rarely give a movie a 5-star rating, just so you know. So 4.5, that's pretty much the highest you'll ever get. If I ever do give a movie a 5-star rating, well, then I guess if I were to give a movie a 5-star rating, in case you're curious, that would be the Big Lebowski. That movie is perfect, in my opinion. It's got its serious moments. It's got its funny moments. It's a brilliant movie. And okay, okay, I know I just fibbed, but another movie. Well, I shouldn't say movie. A trilogy that I would give 5 stars to is Back to the Future. As much as I enjoyed the Star Wars trilogy, I'm sorry, my trilogy has always been the Back to the Future trilogy. I've just, enjoyed the performance by Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox, and I enjoy all three movies. And speaking of performances and Justice League, you know, it was nice with this cut that you did get to see a little bit more. And, you know, I still found, some performances a little lacking. You know, the guy that plays the Flash, Barry Gordon, I found his performance, annoying. I'll admit that. I found his performance a little annoying, but I understand, he's portraying a young kid and he's going to have those moments where he might come off as being annoying. But, everyone else was on point. And, Henry Cavill, well, Henry Cavill was there and he did his job and he did it well. You know, Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne Batman, he was good. I'll admit my favorite movie Batman will always be Michael Keaton. I just enjoyed his performance as the Bruce Wayne Batman dynamic. I mean, funny thing is, he goes from being Mr. Mom to Batman, and it was great. Gal Gadot, of course, she's great as Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, and of course, you got Jason Momoa as Aquaman. He was great. Of course, this is all originally shot film, so of course you're still gonna have the same footage that you saw before, obviously. But he was great, and Ray Fisher as Cyborg. I'm glad they expanded on his story. That was really enjoyable to me to get a little bit more backstory because that's what the first cut was lacking was you know more backstory on Victor, aka Cyborg. So, all in all, I enjoyed this movie. 4.5 out of 5 stars. I do highly recommend it, even with what happened during last night's fundraising stream. And once again, I do want to clarify I am not part of Geeks and Gamers. I don't really consider myself part of the Fandom Menace. I do share some of their same views as far as pop culture is concerned, what's happening in the pop culture. I'm coming out to say that right here, right now. But I'm in no way, shape, or form affiliated with them. But I do agree with some of their points when it comes to pop culture, because when it comes to canon, especially in comic books, and I don't care what company publishes the comic books, if they have characters that they've created and they have established canon because of each and every issue that's come out of these different characters, then canon needs to be respected. And like I said, as far as going on to someone else's stream, you know, in my view, I want to be respectful. If I'm ever invited to anyone else's stream, then I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to go on there knowing that I'm on their platform. They invited me onto their platform. So whatever rules they have in place, respect those rules. But I don't feel I would go on there and completely distance myself from them the moment I'm on camera. No, that's just not the way I see you operating. I don't think it's right. I know I've already said that, but I really don't think it's right. But I really do recommend this movie. Yes, it's 4 hours long. I do recommend, if you can sit through a 4 hour movie. I knew I couldn't, like I've said. But if you can't sit through a 4 hour movie, then I would highly recommend breaking it up. Maybe watch the first 2 hours, take a break, do something, maybe do it within 2 days, 3 days, whatever. However many days you want to do it, however long period of time you want to do it. But I do recommend breaking it up if you can't sit through a 4 hour movie, which is funny. I couldn't do it, yet I could sit through a 3 hour baseball game, 4 hour baseball game, no problem. But when it comes to a movie of this length, I need to break it up. That's just me. But I do recommend this movie, and I hope when you see it that you're able to enjoy it. And, if you like what you see here, please give me a follow on social media. I am on Twitter. It's at PACIFIC414 on Twitter. You can also find me on Facebook. And the Facebook page is called Pacific414 YouTube/Twitch. And you can also find me on Instagram at Pacific_414. And if you like what you see here, please give this video a thumbs up, share this video if you like, and subscribe to the channel if you so choose. And that's going to wrap it up for this movie review. I will be back tomorrow at 4:30, as I'm going to be reviewing episode 1 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And for right now, it's just going to be episode 1. I don't know if I'm going to commit to the other episodes, because I want to see how we feel about episode 1 after watching it. So until tomorrow, this is Mike for Pacific414 Movie Review. Hope you all enjoyed what you saw here today. I know it wasn't very long. I wasn't intending to keep this very long, but I do highly recommend Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you all, especially for the new followers on Twitter, and even new followers I have on Twitch. And that page is twitch.tv/Pacific414. I appreciate anyone who follows me on Twitch, Twitter, on Instagram, who has also decided to like the Facebook page. I really do appreciate that, and I really do appreciate you all. So until tomorrow, this is Mike for Pacific414 Movie Review, and I will see you all tomorrow. Like I said, take care. Have a good evening.